you're ready to change. You feel the call. You know that you have been noticing more often that you're really kind of inspired by what some other people are doing and trying to kind of figure out how you yourself might step into a new space in your life. And you're a middle-aged woman and you're successful. You've got your life together. You either have been in a high-level corporate path, or maybe you have a beautiful, thriving business that you created from the ground up and it's making money, and you've got all the things and you got there and you still kind of went, huh, well, that's not exactly what I was hoping for. And so you're starting to, like I said, kind of get inspired. You're like, I'm a little curious about this whole what does it mean to change thing. And when you see someone, maybe you ask them, you're like, hey, how did you do that journey? Like, I watched and witnessed what you talked about that. And I'm really curious about what it took for you to create a new space or make that leap, because it can feel really scary, right? Change is scary, and we're going to talk about that today. So, hi, my name is Jen. I'm a transformational purpose coach and expert, and what I do is work with women in midlife who are going through all these changes. And they're facing all sorts of things. They're facing things like empty nest, aging, maybe ailing parents, maybe losing parents, maybe losing friends. Even we're at a stage of life where we can't so much take our health for granted anymore. And so we're kind of in this sandwich space, and you want to reconfigure. And even though you've been very successful and you have money, you're kind of like not feeling connected to it anymore. And you want to have this sense of not just being successful, but successful and purposeful at the same time and really aligned. And so if this is you, what I do is I work with women and we get clarity around where you've been, where you're going, and how you're going to get there. And I do that combining kind of all of my favorite modalities that I've learned in terms of healing with a foundation of over 20 years of providing psychotherapy. So I've been around a minute and I've seen a lot of people. And so what I really do is draw upon that foundation of wisdom from working with so many clients that were willing to share their journey with me, and how the best we can sort of formulate a way around reconfiguring at this stage of life. So change stands for creating new habits around your next grand evolution in midlife. It's a mouthful. Whoo! You can tell it's like written over here on my whiteboard because I'm still getting my head around it. And so I'm going to say it one more time. Creating new habits around your next grand evolution in midlife. Sorry about that, because I wanted to make sure I was getting that correct. So this is what I'm going to be talking about today. So what I want us to think about is here's the thing. Midlife is a season of life. Midlife is a season of life. After so many years in clinical practice, these are the seasons I think I've seen. Adolescence, which goes longer than we ever give it credit. We kind of think it ends at about, 18. It doesn't. It goes till about 20, 23. And then there's this sort of still figuring yourself out, really young adulthood, trying to figure out what you value the most, how to do adulting. So, right, figuring that out. Then you're in your 30s and you might be starting to settle a bit. You might have a career path. You might have a journey. Now you're kind of industrious. Right now it's like doing the things. Maybe you're checking the boxes of life, right? So maybe you're moving into a home. Maybe you're starting a family. Maybe you're getting married. Maybe you've got a partner. Maybe you've decided that dating is for the birds and you've decided to be single. Children or not children. Maybe you're anti-children, right? But you're starting to kind of settle into a space of knowing yourself better. By 40, you kind of start to have it leveled off. Doesn't mean you figure everything out, but it levels off. And in some ways, it becomes an era between 40 and 50 where you start to really kind of come back into a space of being able to reinvent yourself, because maybe your kids are growing and flying the coop. I know mine just did, right? So like those are pieces of our lives and journeys that we're all going through. And so if we know that midlife is a season, much like the other areas of our lives, we want to adjust for that. And so sometimes I find that people kind of get stuck imagining that life is going to look like one thing from beginning to end, which is a complete fallacy. So we just know that we need to make space for the changes in us, much like the seasons, right? So energetically, Winter is the time of reflection and kind of a little bit more quiet. Spring is a time of growth, and the fire is starting to kind of move around in our bodies energetically again. And summer is full of vibrance and energy and expansion. And then fall is a time of turning things over and slowing down a little bit and reaping the benefits of the work that we've done, right? There's a very energetic flow to that. There's a flow the same way in our lives. And so what I want to talk about is that midlife. So we're going to talk about habits, since it says creating new habits around your next grand evolution in midlife. I finally got it. You're welcome. So we're going to talk about today taking stock. What does that mean? Taking stock. It means that in a season, we're going to look at where we've been, where we want to go, right? We're starting to really reflect. So he's talking about reflection. I want you to have the habit of reflection in your life. You need to be able to sit back, look at how things are playing out, adjust if needed. Is this satisfying? Is this working? Am I happy in this? Am I happy and listen to this list, okay? Am I happy with my job? Am I clear about my purpose? Do I feel like I have a spiritual practice? Am I satisfied in my relationships? Am I deeply entrenched in friendships that serve me? Am I in a place physically that I want to be in? Do I need to make a physical move to another place or another home or another state or country? Right. So it's like so many pieces of your life. And what you want to examine is, how are you doing in that? Are you exhausted? If midlife was kind of a finish line of sorts, not the finish line, if it's a finish line of sorts and I show up and I tap out and I'm like, right, and I'm dragging my ass across the line and I'm just burnt out and I'm exhausted and I don't feel inspired and I'm wondering if this is all that there is. The answer is no. So we want to reconfigure this. And this is where this is so important, is it's just creating another habit in your life. So I want you to work on reflecting. And I know this sounds like such a super short and sweet. I will guarantee you there are a lot of people that do not do this habit. So reflecting can look like a couple of things. It can look like journaling, which I love, but I know journaling, I don't journal in a traditional sense. I journal when I'm done meditating. Or if I'm doing an manifesting abundance journey, then I also meditate. So, or journal. So I know that journaling is not for everybody, but also trust me, you can sit and just bullet. Okay. You don't have to sit and do the whole Dear Sally, right? Or you can voice memo, which is really cool too. You can like record yourself. Like, this is what's going on today and this is where I'm at and I wonder what this is about. Great. Okay. So self-reflection, very important. Self-awareness, very important. And so here's a pivotal piece I see people miss. Support. We have to be talking about this. At every single season and change in our lives, we need to be talking about it. We need to be talking to our friends, our families, our communities. Maybe we need professional guidance and support, people that are actually like do this for a living, or whether it's therapy or coaching or whatever it is, right? Or you're going on retreats. You're taking invitation to self-reflect. You're taking time and invitation to really understand where you're at with things. How is it going? Are you satisfied? And that's really a question I want you to dive into. Are you satisfied? Do you feel purposeful? Do you feel aligned? Do you feel like you're where you're supposed to be doing your life? And if you're not, it's time to step back and make a change. But this is a habit for the rest of your life if you make this a part of your just like regular process. And I'm not saying you got to all day, every day do a checkbox, right? Okay? Because like, we need to give ourselves space. But I will say, I would really recommend this like every 3 months to every 6 months at least. You sit down and you have a really serious period of reflection. And maybe it's more a culmination of it. The daily stuff looks like journaling and reflecting, right? Maybe having a conversation for sure with friends. And then what I'm going to say though is every 3 to 6 months, I really want you to harness that in. Like, okay, I've really got to take a look at this really more deeply. Sit, pen and paper, right? Or computer, whatever it is, whatever your mode is, right? If tech is not your friend, whatever it is, sit down with that and just outline. Okay, how am I doing? I'm taking stock. And it's not about judging anyone or anything. It's just being really authentic with yourself. How are you feeling? What could use some tweaking or adjusting, right? And so it's a great way to like I've done this and I do it, and I give myself a rating scale 0 to 10. I just did this like not that long ago, 2 weeks ago. And it was like every single thing that I do in my life, not every single thing, a lot of my business stuff was where I started. And I was like 0 to 10, how satisfying. 10 is like banging, and 0 is like, I hate this. And so I had to like go through my shit and see what I was like loving and what I didn't like, right? And so it's really about getting real with yourself. Same thing for you. How are you doing with your vitality and your wellness, your actual physical well-being? Are you going to appointments? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking time for your loved ones and your partner? Are you nurturing your kids, your relationships and friendships? Are you taking time for just yourself? I know this is novel, right? But by midlife, we can actually say that's actually a thing. Are you taking time for yourself? Are you having a good time? Are you learning new things? Are you engaged in hobbies? This is all about satisfaction, and life satisfaction includes every single one of those things, my friends. And so this is just an invitation to sit down, pen and paper, take a look at that global vision of your life, and really give yourself an assessment about like, where am I feeling? How am I doing? Take stock. So this is a new habit I want you to incorporate every 3 to 6 months, a big daddy one, a big sit down, a big mama, come to Jesus conversation with yourself. And between that, I want you to be using resources. It's so important to have guidance and support in this. I literally am always engaging in coaching in some way, shape, or form. I receive healing and I do coaching. So I'm always doing personal growth and development. Always, always, always. Books, podcasts, you name it, I'm always engaging in it. So it doesn't matter what format, there's always something flowing into my life. I'm always learning and growing. It's what keeps us vital in life. And so I'm speaking from a space of having done this journey, I promise you. And I actually feel like those are things that have rooted and anchored me in ways that nothing else ever has. So I'm speaking from experience. And so if you've not engaged in these things, I'm going to really push you. Go find someone that you want to listen to their podcast, find a great community, right? Get some business like support or get some personal growth support. Grow this capacity for change, because we know it's forever. Change is absolute. We're going to change from the minute we're born to the minute that we're gone from here. And so if we know that it's inevitability, what we want to do is learn the fine art of doing that. And so this season, I'm going to encourage you to have the habit of checking in with yourself to create new habits that support where you are in this midlife state. So I'm going to send you away with that homework. I can't wait to hear what you figure out. And for more tips and tools, what I'm going to invite you to do is go to laughinglotuswellness.com. And you are welcome to join and subscribe to my email. And all you're going to do is subscribe and you get to join my community, right? And so that's just a really great resource and a place of support for things where you can drop questions, comments, talk about this, talk about growth, talk about midlife. I want to support you in living your very best life as we can humanly harness, right? And so I definitely encourage you to come on over and hang out with us there. I welcome you. But until next time, my friends, I'm sending you blessings, love, and light, and supporting you on the rise of your path to purpose. And so that's what I'm here to do. And I can't wait to get to know you and share that journey with you to help elevate the experience you're having and helping you create a different relationship with change. So this is me sending you blessings, love, and light until next time, supporting you on your path to purpose.